in the right one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we just start talking and nobody answers for a long time, then we know that something went incredibly wrong. So hello, everyone. Hope all is well. I am multitasking. Ooh, we're getting some hellos. Yay!
Oh, thank goodness.
We're live. David's computer never let him hit the start streaming button. Oh, that's interesting.
Wow, that is interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so.
Oh, and I need to double. I managed to press a button. David did not.
Mm-hmm.
We need to work on this co-hosting duty thing, because you're really not pulling your co-host.
I'm feeling a bit like a slow-mo coho right now.
Oh, Graham, nice. Hope it's been a great day for you.
Oh, Graham, it's so nice to see you. And man, we've done such terrible things to you this season.
Yeah, that's David's fault. It's totally. He's putting the ghost in ghost.
And this week.
I forgot to pull up the website. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you sure did.
I was writing down the numbers.
That's all right.
And then you were like, I can't hit the stream button, so I had to go back.
It's just something I asked you to do. It's okay.
Well, you did none of your duties. Do you like, though, the color scheme I did for...
Yeah, I do. It's pretty cool. You can do that with Chrome. So to start off with we're going to announce our next speaker for Copycon.
Woohoo!
Yeah. And so...
also, we have a little...
That's right. There's Professor Chicken. All right. So, as you can see, if you go there ahead of my reveal,
your slow-mo.
Our next speaker, who is a good friend of mine, and I'm very excited about.
Scrolling very slowly.
She hasn't been here in a while. Go ahead.
Dun, da, da, da.
That's right, Sylvia Sotomayor, creator of Kalen.
Yes.
And I took this photo of her in some
European
country. Yeah, I think it was in Finland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's definitely, like, as soon as you see it, it's like, yeah, this is somewhere in Europe.
Yep. Anyway.
Oh, nice.
So Sylvia Sotomayor created Kalen, and has also created a bunch of other stuff. She has it, like, all on her website, and honestly, she just keeps getting more and more out there and incredible with the stuff she's doing. So I'm very excited that Sylvia is going to be there. Less excited, apparently, that they... didn't have the
oh, Kevin.
Man, because like they were doing so well with the other diacritics, I just didn't give it much of a thought. All right, everybody, what should we do with Kalen? Should we make it a regular E, or should we make it an acute accent, or
a double E situation,
or a circumflex?
Oh, do they have the others?
They do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's why, I thought it was no big deal.
Okay, so we should make a choice today just to fix the font issue, but then you should really contact Sylvia and say, if the Macron doesn't render, what is your choice?
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Because as the creator of Kalen, I feel like she may have an opinion.
Right.
And she deserves to.
Let's see what...
Oh, Miles is giving 3 options. Circumflex, tilde, diaresis.
Like, we can see if tilde will render. It might not, but I'm gonna go ahead and...
Yeah, this is right here. If you're tuning in, I'll highlight it here. This looks awful, is what we're talking about.
So here, oh wait, I don't know how to do a force restart on.
Well,
this
you
thing.
just hit refresh there. Oh, it looks like a Macron gone wild. I like it.
It does, and now I am kind of curious just to see if there would be a difference.
Whoops, sorry, that was loud. Popping my little tab top there.
Wait a minute.
Should I? Oh no, the tilde does not show up.
It can't do the tilde, so we're just gonna go with an acute accent for Nowskis.
Yeah, Jake. I don't think that would work to handwrite these diacritics. That would be fun though, to just kind of go in and do things. Okay.
I had a science teacher. I know I've told you this, but I don't think I've told them this. But I had a science teacher in high school who would just use markers and straight up write on his television. Like,
Oh yeah, in high school, because he hated all the TVs or something, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
got a brand new one. He once took a huge magnet up to the side of a TV to demonstrate how it could really mess it up. It was incredible. Because, like, and certainly, I mean, we never would have gotten a chance to see this, but he had I want to say it was like a 10-pound magnet. It was industrial strength. And so he held it up to the side of the television. If you ever do that, at least with an old television, I don't know if it does it with a new one, just an entire jet of rainbow shoots out on the screen, so that you can see the radiation or the magnification or whatever radiating off of the magnet. It's incredible.
Wow. It's making a note to myself.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a sec. Anyway, so that is.
I did the math.
Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. That was our exciting announcement for Copycon. Might be a while till the next one because I feel like we should hold something back. Should hold something back.
I don't know how long we want to hold things back, though. People got to plan travel. And let me tell you, people are saying the big hitters are coming, and yes, they are.
That's true.
We have an exciting lineup. This is... It has been really hard not to accidentally say something.
That's true. It's pretty exciting already. But
oh my God, it's already I mean, honestly, David, just you and me were enough to make me want to go.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
But yeah, no, it just keeps getting seriously, we had so much fun thinking through, and David had fun contacting everyone.
And a quick shout out, it's the season 2 premiere of Shadow and Bone.
Woo!
That both Jesse and I worked on, and that we were both credited for very excitingly.
Yes.
Yeah, and Christian Tallman too. He got a credit too, so that was very exciting. All right. Anyway, but yeah. So now we have an announcement.
That note's for me.
We have an announcement.
Please don't announce it out loud, because the whole.
I'm not.
No, I was gonna say the whole thing is I just want to take care of it.
I know.
So I don't know what you're doing. You're scaring me.
So we're going to jump to
Woo!
the poll, and the nominees for verbal assimilation are fricative basic, fricative aggressive. I don't even know how to go over these.
I mean, essentially, I'm going to move that over just a little bit. I think everything was in frame already.
How about this?
But I was just going to scooch it over.
Fricative basic, basically the only things that change are voiceless stops become fricatives, voice stops become fricatives, and voiceless fricatives become voiced. Fricative aggressive, our next nominee, is a little bit of the same, except that voiced fricatives now become W. And approximates become W2, because why not?
That's how we roll.
Our next nominee, chain basic, is we have kind of a push chain. Voiceless stops go to voice stops. Voice stops go to voiced fricatives. Voiceless fricatives disappear. And voiced fricatives go to approximates. And also R and L goes to W.
Before you say anything else, though, Miles says fricative basic feels like Reese Witherspoon, and fricative aggressive feels like Natasha Lyonne. And in case anyone has not yet seen it, Poker Face was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it so it gets to season 2, because I want to see what happens. And that's relevant for Natasha Lyonne, not for Reese Witherspoon.
All right.
But anyway,
our next nominee, secondary basic. So this is where things get a little bit more complicated. And
Graham, I'm so sorry. As David was coming up with these options, my one question was, how is Graham going to do this? And I'm just I'm so sorry.
Okay, so in this one, the secondary articulations play a role. So it's like the aspiration on the voiceless stops plays a role. So those things become fricatives. But the labialized voiceless stops don't. For reasons, they're also aspirated. No, because it was the labialization overrides it, so they voice. And then the pharyngalized stops, like, they both voice, but also get pulled to the uvula, right? Plain voice stops become fricatives. The labialized voice stops do become fricatives as well. And then the pharyngalized voice stops all become gla, which is a voiced uvular stop. Plain voiceless fricatives, voice. Labialized voiceless fricatives also voice. The pharyngeal fricative just disappears. So do the plain voice fricatives, well, except for b, which becomes w, which is going to become b again anyway in most circumstances, right? And then the wa becomes a wa. Nothing happens to w, r, and l. The ra becomes an ah. That's right. We have a pharyngeal approximant, and then wa becomes a wa. Nothing happened to that. All right, so that was secondary basic. And then our final nominee, secondary aggressive. It's even more of what we did before. And so now basically like R and L are becoming W, Hua is becoming W. The Hua is becoming a Hua because like there's like a merger going on. Like
you are using these like question inflections like what's happening when
no, listen.
You said there were good reasons for all these.
Okay. The labialized stuff is becoming velar. So both qua and pla become gua, all right? Because there's a velar there. And so gua becomes roi, right? Velar, not roi, but roi. And then the hua becomes roi, nice velar there, but we still get the gla, gla, gla for the blah, 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 you know? All right. All right, so basically things are just becoming a little bit simpler as you go on down the line. All right, so those are your nominees for vowel mutation.
Intervocalic mutation.
Intervocalic vowel mutation, and the winner is...
Oh, you were just doing that the whole time to hand me back the piece of paper.
That was it?
Oh my gosh, you are something.
Look, we're co-presenters, and I got to do most of the talking, but you get the envelope.
The Academy would like to thank. Okay, so this secondary basic was not popular.
Yeah.
2 votes.
Wouldn't it be great if they did the Oscars this way too?
So-and-so in this role was not preferred. 2 votes.
Amazing.
Sorry.
All right.
Better luck in your next role choosing. It was an honor to be nominated. Also, less preferred was fricative aggressive. So the Natasha Lyonne of roles was less appreciated.
You're telling me I barely got any votes after the last place one? I was trying. No.
Good try. Natasha, if you're watching this, I apologize on his behalf. That was just kind of embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
You have an amazing voice. Okay. And that was not it. So this one only got 6 votes. Coming in right behind it was Chain Basic,
okay,
which got 8 votes. And so it was the middle option. It was the C. It was also middle of the road in votes.
Probably the safest option, honestly, of all of the 5 of them. That was the safest.
And it got 3rd place, so that's something.
Yeah.
Now we come up to a little conundrum.
The winner is...
Dun, da, 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 a tie.
Woo!
So our patrons either wanted, let's go handful of changes, fricative basic, or do it all, secondary aggressive. Like, no in between.
Yeah.
We have a tie. And so, Jake, great question. Patrons, why do we keep ending up here?
So, I don't know how we're going to, like, decide this, but I will tell you this. And I thought I mentioned this. Neither of these has to be the end point, right? We know that neither of them is the end point because we have later on this sound change coming that's going to change a lot of W's to V. And so, you know, the question is, do we want to go nuts or...
Secondary aggressive is Aubrey Plaza.
Nice.
Yes.
It's like, do we want to really put on our sequin dress? Or do we just want to put on, you know, a sweatshirt and, you know, pajama pants?
Okay, here is part of my wonderment. And this is something I was wondering from the moment you suggested this.
Jesse's Wonderment, brought to you by Copycon.
Yeah, let's go with the losing option. Nobody wins when we have a tie. In fact, option F, which we never even presented, is now going to win.
Everything goes to...
No, that's our bird language.
So it'd be a really wild option.
You're not going to ruin my dog language.
You have, you know, Bram and then Abaram.
Oh my gosh. So one, I was like, how are you going to put all these into sound changes? And I kept asking, like, is there anything in common where you could actually write a rule? And David's like, no.
Lenition.
And I honestly don't know. My inclination was the fricative basic, just because I was like, I understand how you could like group these moving forward. Like if I ever needed to apply something on the fly, I would be much more likely to remember these. But David, I know, really liked these because they felt more natural to him. And so, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. If we cut out the confidants, it's still tied.
Oh yeah, no.
If we cut out the consultants, fricative basic wins.
But that's cutting out a lot of votes.
Miles asked about the superdelegates.
Oh my gosh. Like, and this is going my way, so it's like, it's not even like I'm upset because I'm like, no, don't do that. I just don't want people who voted to... Well, I mean, I guess we're going to have to override half of you anyway, one way or another.
Yeah.
So, Jake, emphasis onto him. Yeah, they made more sense to him. I don't know. What's your opinion?
I mean, easier is easier.
That's right, Jake. That's how fair voting works. But yeah, no, you're right. Easier is easier. And there is something to be said for something that you can somewhat more elegantly put into a sound change.
Yeah.
Does it, but as you're looking at it, does it still feel okay? Does it still feel semi-good? I don't think so. Okay.
I don't know. This one also, can you go to C real quick? C is the only option that didn't have the pharyngeal approximant. I didn't notice that. Every single other one had it, even fricative basic. I didn't realize that.
Or we're talking about this one?
No, go up. Talking about this dude.
Oh. For the voiceless fricative. Well, that's because voiceless fricatives went to Newton.
That's right. Chain basic was the only one that didn't have it.
Yeah. Although where it shows up is really different.
Yeah. Bet you all are wishing you still had your chain basic now.
I don't know, though. These would all just disappear in between. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense given certain things. Okay, but I like the voicingness of the voiceless fricatives and in between vowels just because, you know, a lot of languages do it, and I don't know why. I love it. Joadi does it. Get on board.
All right. Look, it's far be it from me to tell you not to drive our RV off a cliff.
When would I ever have you in an RV?
I don't know.
Exactly. We'd be driving off a cliff if I had managed to get you in one, because it would be the end of days.
It'd be like, you know, hey, David, come join me in this RV. We're going to drive to ice cream. and then it's
Oh,
literally
the
just
ice cream.
parked directly in front of a cliff, and I'll be like, "Oh boy, ice cream!" and then you're just gonna drive it straight off.
Is that how it's gonna work?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm leaning towards fricative basic. What do you?
All right, let Button Classic win.
So.
Whoa, hold on a sec. Brian wants to see what would happen with the YouTube vote.
Well, then you got to do it.
All
You got to
right.
get in.
What did you just do right here? What happened? Oh, did you just close the page?
No.
Wait, what happened to it?
It's right there.
Oh, okay. All right, because I was going to say we want our Lexergy too. All right.
I just went to the dog language document to get started, but apparently
The document.
the document, exactly. I wonder, actually, you know what? I'm going to, because this was under Vocalic, I'm going to copy the options here so that way people can see these back to back.
Okay.
Whoops, wrong way. So I want you to be able to see these back to back as you're voting.
I don't think I actually have the document open.
Just a second. We're going to match formatting because that looked ugly. There we go. Yeah, I don't think you have it open either. But now you can join me in it because we did, the thing that we had talked about doing. Okay. And we're gonna put some bullets here to make that stand out. Put some bullets here, make that stand out. Here's what you're voting on. Right here. Right here.
Put B instead of E.
Oh my gosh, David. Gosh. You said B, so I'm gonna make it B/E up here.
I'm definitely gonna need to hear how they sound again. Sa, sa, he, hue, ha, hua, va, va, ze, za, ya, ya, re, hue, v, je, re, rue, ah, and then no change. And then down here, wa, ah, wa, nothing, because it disappears. Rue, v, je, re, blah, 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 rue, v, ze, je, re, blah, gua, gua, se, he, ha. That's all of them.
I was gonna try to follow along with the cursor and highlight as you went, but then I got lost on where you were, so I don't even know.
Who doesn't want a pumpkin spice fricative?
I mean, listen, I have never claimed that I am not. Although the pumpkin spice whole thing, it's too sweet for me, like pumpkin spice latte. So to me, it's a whole dessert anytime I get it. It's very sweet.
This is me taking a single granule of sugar and putting it into an ocean of bitter. Jesse's like, oh, so sweet. Anyway, my sister desperately has wanted me to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. And Jesse has been vehemently opposed to this.
Excuse me?
Was
it not me who suggested we watch it on the airplane, and then you were like, no, she'll get mad if I...
airplane?
But we were both in the same place, and
that would have been the worst idea. Worst idea to watch.
We have watched movies together on airplanes and enjoyed them.
Not a movie that could potentially make you cry. This is embarrassing. Anyway, Bibleridian's processing. I hope that your technical issues have been ferreted out, Mr. Luridian. Yeah, there you go. Silvertail. I watched it on an airplane, and it's not an airplane movie.
Well, were we not there, and did we not have all the free time to watch the movie? This is the problem, is finding the free time, and when we do get free time, we're usually like, well, let's go ahead and work. Anyway.
Wait a minute. What do you mean, fascinating pronunciation of vehemently? There's no other pronunciation. What are you getting away with? Vehemently? Did I ever tell you about how I used to pronounce behemoth behemoth? Because I thought that's how it was
How
pronounced.
long are you leaving this open, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm dictionarying.
People are chiming in to say yes, crying happened. But look.
Oh my god.
Crying happens on airplanes and it's fine. People move on.
Oh no, wait, sorry, I was misreading that. So they're saying vehement or vehement. Basically, they're saying the stress is on the first syllable. Vehemently. I think I've heard that before.
I think it's a word that I would always avoid saying out loud because I know I would pronounce it potentially
probably with a vague prefix. Lacking too little, lacking too much judgment. Look at this vague prefix. What is this sexy prefix?
Do you know what I found out this week?
Vestigium. What?
Do you know what I found out that I've already shared with David, but now everybody gets to know? Wink and vacillate come from the same Proto-Indo-European root. So to sway is the same root as wink, and I love it.
Look at this. Look at this prefix. Why didn't this prefix get used a whole lot more?
Used to indicate a fault of excess or deficiency. Yeah. Too much, too little.
Apparently it's...
That's amazing. Okay.
There is some disagreement on the origin of this prefix. Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, Miles, right? Close the poll, David.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you? Do you? Yeah. Oh my goodness. I know, Brian. I have asked him more than once. Fricative Basic has won.
There. We're ready to get going.
30 minutes in and David's ready.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. This is our winner. Do you want me to drop it down?
I'm going to open up the document. Give me a minute.
Oh, that was so close to the Fox and the Hound.
It was my little yawn. It was my little Fox and the Yawn. Okay. And so now we need to summarize this change.
Yes. So voiceless fricatives become a voiced counterpart. As far as I can see, it's all at the really same place. The only one is the H that becomes the approximate rather than a fricative.
Okay, so voiceless stops become fricatives. Voice stops become fricatives, and voiceless fricatives become voiced fricatives.
Yeah.
Okay. I can handle that.
And voiced fricatives just stay.
I can handle that. So we're going to go up here. We're going to write something. So where do we lose? You might want to go to this sound change.
You want me to go down to not keep this on the screen, but go to the sound changes? Yeah,
like where?
I'm gonna join you.
Where do the word final? Oh, that's nice.
But wait.
You have to press on it. Oh,
it says you're...
Go ahead, do it again.
You were still in the same place of the document. That's why I was like just staying there.
I scrolled down, but I kept the cursor there. All right,
my gosh.
Okay, so like where does that rule happen where word final labialized things become consonant followed by ro? Where does that happen? Is it coda simplification?
Yeah.
It is coda simplification.
Number 8.
All right. Consonant only.
Okay, we're sure this one is spelled correctly. We're going to learn that spelling. Labialized. We're going to learn some spellings. There we go. Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. If we do it before coda simplification, then it will just be an initial phenomenon. If we do it after coda simplification, then it will affect those as well. So for example, if we had a word like bak, bak, it ends with a qua, then the bak is going to become bako, right?
Which is going to become
Bajo. Is that okay? We like that?
Wow. Oh, this is a decision. Like I almost want to like type up and do a little poll just to see like I don't know.
Yeah.
Or how you.
Well, because then we got this labialized velar lateral mergery thing. With car. If it happens before that, we need to decide what happens to LW in between two vowels, which we didn't. Because we assumed that this sound change was going to be after it. And it has to happen after coda simplification because the way that we wrote it up, we said it was going to happen after palatalization.
Oh, then yeah, that's important because otherwise we wouldn't actually have some of those sounds there, like the palatal. So no vote. In fact, didn't you say it was going to be 11 or after Rule 11? There was something about 11 in there.
It's up to 11. Yeah, I said it was going to be coming before 12. So, all right, we're going to call this intervocalic lenition.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then so how to put this? We're going to say C goes to plus continuance minus nasal goes to plus continuant.
I love watching his brain work as he tries to make this one complete rule. It's happening. He's thinking. Oh my god, this is great. How's that thinking going?
It's going poorly. That part of the equation is pretty easy, huh?
Yeah. Intervocalically, sure. Mm-hmm. It's also got to be minus approximate because nothing happens to the approximants.
But approximants aren't minus continuant.
Okay.
So you don't need to write it.
Okay.
In other words, if something is becoming plus continuant, the assumption is that it was minus continuant.
And we can't just do plus voice because the voiceless stops don't become voice.
They sure don't. Mm-hmm. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Hey, speaking of figuring out, did you figure out the battery charging thing? If you shut down things, did it make it so your battery actually lasts?
Oh yeah, it was upward.
Okay, good. Well, you had said you had identified it. I didn't know if you had actually like started turning it off to see if it worked.
Okay, so then here's the thing.
Okay. It's almost working. In case you're wondering what he's puzzling over right now, It's the fact that a voiceless fricative goes to a voiced one. As the rule is written right now, it works really nicely for the voiced and voiceless stops because they're staying the same voice across the board, the same voiceless or voice status, but they're getting fricated. The problem is that voiced fricatives just stay voiced fricatives. Voiceless fricatives get voicing. And so this is where David's mind is spinning to try to figure out what thing could make it so it's alpha voice, except in this one situation where it goes negative alpha voice or positive alpha voice. I don't know what you would do.
This is pretty embarrassing. What I think that our stream should be
Magpie
evidence
is
of.
like just consonant plus Linus.
There you go. What I think our stream should be evidence of is that the phonologists of the 60s and 70s were wrong.
So, in other words, we should never be writing rules in these plus minus features in the same way that you've been forcing us to write rules the entire forcing us. Really, I don't do it at all. I just make you do it because I'm like, no, that's too much.
I mean, isn't it fun to write rules?
The description of them, sure.
See, and then like you could do. With the exception. See, because if they're plus continuant, they go to plus voice, because everything that's plus continuant and minus voice will become plus voice.
Well, then don't you want to say like minus nasal, minus continuant up front? Because you don't want that to apply to something already continuant.
It doesn't.
Whatever.
Because if it can't go to plus voice unless it was minus voice. See? Anyway, it was a lovely thing that we had. Okay, the stops all fricate. The voiceless fricatives voice. There art.
Aren't approximants plus continuant?
They sure are, but do we have any minus voice approximants?
Okay.
We don't, do we?
Depends on how you define the class of approximants. Because approximants tend to include the full row. And
they
so
include a lot of
did we have the voiceless wa?
No.
Okay.
We don't. All right. This entails the following. Okay, now go back up to that thing at the top. Well, yes, now that you've left it, I wanted you to leave it. All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we go. It's, all right. TH. T thingy.
Oh, aspirated T. I was like, we don't have a th in here. Then I realized what you were doing. It's fine.
H K W.
You know what I could do, babe? Mm-hmm. I could copy or cut it really, paste it down there, and then you could just like pull what you've already typed right up into the roll.
You go for it.
Now I'm going to come join you. And I'm going to do that. And now you can just like copy and paste all this that you've already done. I'll even help you out by like adding asterisks. See, that one's ready to just pull out now. There we go. And then just in case you want to do these two.
I don't.
There. I'm ready for you to copy and paste anything.
You disobedient.
Oh gosh, I hate, yeah. Pages likes to change the C in parentheses.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. Jake, you're right. Doggo no longer exists.
That's true.
Dojo.
Dojo.
Yeah, I know. I'm really good at that one. Did you not hear me pronounce it clearly?
I heard it.
You heard the spirit of it, right? So no dogo. Dojo.
All right. So there we have it. Now, the question is, what are we going to do with it?
What's interesting, okay, so I do want you to consider a little something.
Oh, so we never wrote up the nasalization, the post-nasal stuff. Anyway, go ahead.
Lenition like this. Oh, what happened here, David? Lenition like this can be restricted to boundaries, to like certain boundaries. So in the same way that, for instance, in the cat language in Sarkije, we only had vowel harmony actually playing a role when it was like at boundaries where a root came together with another unit. Is this something that we want to restrict so it's not word internal, but is actually only where you would put, say, a hyphen in Lexergy to say like this is another unit or this is a compound?
No.
So it's going to happen word internally as well.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I think. I think it should be there. But now, the question is what we want to do with the rest of all this stuff. And so by the rest of all this stuff, I mean we now distinguish ch from ch, and we also have a in there. We distinguish r from r. And so now we have to ask ourselves, do we want to?
Actually, Jonathan, I think I've actually changed that on mine. Yeah, see, I changed the copyright thing on mine. So when I type it, it never happens. It was because David was typing in his.
I fixed it.
He went back and fixed it now.
I never fixed it because I was like, hey, that might be handy if I find myself typing copyright symbols a lot. But then, of course, I always just remember that the copyright symbol is, Alt-G.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one is Alt? Is this one Alt?
Well, the one that you press.
Oh, it's Control, not Alt. Oops.
It's Option.
Oh, well, it's whatever this one is on here.
Yeah.
I get confused on those, which one it is. Oh, then I'm gonna. Interesting. I realized earlier I was trying to do something, and I'm gonna. This is another note to myself. Okay. Yeah. So yes, now we've just introduced a lot more sounds in the language. And regardless of whether we keep them, we need to enter them in the sound chart, because like with Sarkeje, we ended up oranging sounds that like weren't proto, but came up at a mid stage, but then disappeared in final stages. Are we going to do the same thing here?
Well, yeah, but not yet. Not yet. Let's figure out what we've got, and we never entered the nasal one. So we need to do that, and I don't know where it is anymore.
What do you mean the nasal?
This is the vocalic mutation. Where's the nasal mutation? Here it is.
Right, we hadn't decided on it yet. That was going to be a poll, I thought.
No, we did decide on it. We were like, this is it. And so
okay. All right. I thought we had like something left that needed to be decided, and we weren't sure how it was going to go.
Let's write it in and then figure out where we are, and then decide what we're going to do with all of it.
Okay.
So I've copied it. I'm going to put this nasal thing probably right here.
Regardless of what happens today, David,
Yeah.
we need to make sure we at least get like one more word that I can draw. Because two more words really for my drawings this week. So we need to make sure we get some new words.
Dignity.
Anyway. Anyway. So it says this will just follow, yeah? Or be along the same line.
Yeah, we're gonna have let's do.
And yeah, you're right, Jake. We can bring back dogo to get dogo as a compound. Oh, look at that cute little sloth. My co-host is yawning.
Yeah, no, I'm a little tired, but like also just it's not really an issue. Just protoform DOKW, and that will be doggo, right? Or no, it becomes a fricative, doesn't it?
Dogo.
Becomes a fricative.
Yeah.
Man. Wow, that's rough, man. That's rough.
So it would have to be some sort of compound situation where we get the guga stopping the mutation.
All right, so first we're going to have nasal assimilation. So that's going to be, let's see, goes to alpha place.
Do you want me to do the alpha? Because I remember how to do it on the common.
What? I just put a bunch of alphas somewhere, didn't I? I don't know where they are. Alpha place.
No, you took them away up above.
For plus nasal. There. All right. A nasal assimilates in place to a following consonant, even across special word boundaries.
So, like, the way I read the rule as written is that any consonant is going to become the same place as the nasal when it follows a nasal.
Sorry.
Like, I would have C plus nasal.
Yeah, I'm really not,
okay.
what they would call a gentleman right now.
A gentleman? That is not what I would not say you are not a gentleman when you're tired. I would say maybe your brain is not fully like in the moment when you're tired.
Feeling a little turned out,
Yeah, you're tired.
Yeah.
There's a difference. That doesn't make you ungentlemanly.
I think a gentleman always has his wits about him. Mm-hmm. Now then,
here's what Vincent has to say about that. That's right. And I dropped him on the keyboard, so I hope I didn't press anything.
I think I'm gonna move this nasal assimilation rule up, just because it makes sense with the palatalization and where other things like that happen. Now.
Oh, Matisse. Oh, because we changed before you. Matisse is late because time change doesn't happen yet in Europe.
Oh, sorry.
And so I am so sorry. Aw.
You would be really disappointed about what we met. What you missed. All we did is talk about Project Runway.
To catch you up, Matisse, and so sorry that we didn't even think about announcing that. Like, well, one, David and I forgot about the time change until literally the night it was happening. But two, like, we need to get better about remembering that that does affect our European viewers and other viewers around the world.
Affects our American
and so
too.
David will get the sleep back in 5 weeks. So to catch you up though, check out the Copycon website. We announced a new speaker, and we had a tie between A and E in the patron poll, and so those were the exact opposite ones. So basic versus the most secondary aggressive that you could have gotten. And we decided here to go with the basic option, in part because I preferred it, in part because it was easier to write up rules for David, and also Graham, who is here today. And then thirdly, because we ran a little poll here and found out people preferred it here. And so those were all the decisions. Right now, we're trying to type those up still as we add in the nasal mutations that are also happening. So that has been the first hour.
And we're also keeping daylight standard time forever. So get used to it.
From now on?
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was like another year or something before.
Well, I mean, the vote didn't happen.
Oh, okay. So that's not really happening.
But it's what's going to happen, gosh darn it.
So anyway, so that's where we are.
That's what should happen.
Well, yeah, and Mateus, that was actually the middle option. That was the one that came in third place. So like it was middle of the vote. We are about when David finishes the nasal mutation rule and gets them placed, including all parts, because now we've got some lenition happening. When we get that done, we're going to celebrate with a Copyco.
Yeah.
Also, in case you missed it, David is tired today, which apparently makes him not a gentleman because his wits are not about him.
That's right.
It's a funny use of about.
Voiceless fricatives go to voiceless stops. But what happens to voiced fricatives?
Well, we do have this note here that fricatives go to stops.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that just means that
I'm sure that
voiced fricatives go to voice stops.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so nasal mutation, let's see. So.
Oh, and Bubba, you had mentioned romanizing that G, and David had already typed a note about using some combination of Q and G perhaps to represent that in romanization. Matei says a true gentleman is unflappable regardless of condition. He takes off his hat when passing by Scott's grave in the Antarctic.
That's true. Man, they would be. Fuchsius is rolling in its grave right now. I'm just going to do it. I'm going
to see what David comes up with here.
No, I'm just going to be lame.
Where did you... Okay, so we put nasal assimilation at rule 10. Sorry, I got sidetracked because I was excited that Mateus was here. And so, yeah, that half of the rule is N. So we've got that. Oh, I know why we didn't have it all. If you recall, I was just trying to like write up examples because I wanted to make sure I understood it. So no, we did not write everything up that was in the actual list of chaining rules.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh, Miles, an umlaut over the G. That's amazing. And unflappable is a wonderful word. I agree.
Look at that. Look what I did.
Just a second. So it's one or the other?
That's right.
Isn't it supposed to be a straight up line to indicate choice?
No.
That's how I was taught.
That's just what the curly brackets are. It's one or the other.
Yes, but like I was taught that to separate choices, you use the straight up line.
If you want to. I mean, I'm all for incorporating aberrant traditions.
Oh God, isn't that cool? I like it.
And then
ooh, bye Brian, enjoy dinner. In case anyone from who has seen the newly teased pictures that I posted from last night on Discord, the entire pizza was consumed.
Yeah.
All gone. Oh, Matisse uses G with a circumflex in Janim for that. So many fun diacritics that David loves.
There.
Okay, so
now it's just
a consonant either becomes nasalized, voiced, or continuant when it follows a nasal. Do we need to specify that sometimes it becomes both? Or do they never become both?
What are you talking about?
Just a second, I'm thinking. A fricative becomes a stop.
I'm sorry. This should be this.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, something's not happening right in my head. Okay. So a voiceless fricative becomes a voiceless stop. Perfect. A voiceless fricative becomes a voiced one. But a voiced fricative. Wait, all fricatives become stops. They all follow that. How do you know which one to follow? Well, your little write-up will tell us, but should minus continuant be in front of plus voice? Because it's like, if it can become minus continuant, it does. If that's not an option, then voicing.
The way I understand the pipe works, it's just you choose one.
Right, but how do you know which one to choose? Usually it's ordered, isn't it? Like you go through the options of what's possible.
You can only choose one, because if you're already minus continuant, you can't choose minus continuant. So then you're plus continuant, and it's like, all right, well, if you're plus voice, then you can't go to plus voice, so you must go to plus nasal. See?
Okay. I feel like I want to puzzle through this a little bit more, but all right. There's Graham, there's both. There's nasal assimilation, where the nasal is going to become either velar or alveolar when it's followed. We had already decided that, David.
What?
This is something else we need to put in that nasal assimilation rule. We had talked about actually pulling the uvulars to velars after a nasal. And not having a uvular nasal. Did we end up doing that?
Oh, shoot, and that one comes.
We'll figure that out in just a second. But here we have it listed as a uvular nasal because, wait, we had talked through the option of not having it, and it was like, why wouldn't you? Because at this point, uvulars are so, like, part of the language. Why wouldn't you also have a nasal at that placement? So we had already decided against that. I think this was a deciding point that we had gone against. Mm-hmm. So never mind. Oh goodness, it was so good, Matisse. And after dinner, we actually had one piece left that I ate later, cold out of the fridge. And I love cold pizza. And let me tell you, I think it was even better cold. Okay, so I'm gonna actually get rid of that so we don't think that that's something we need to do.
Go ahead. Now, are we gonna do this one?
That one I honestly don't remember. I feel like this list at the bottom was something that we had.
We were just going to say, so amla becomes angla, right? And then we were going to say that angla becomes anga.
Angla. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Right.
And then the nasal. How would the nasal? The nasal itself assimilates is what we had already covered, so that's done.
Yeah. Now for amra, That's going to become Anra, right? And then we're okay with that. Anra?
I think so, because we weren't doing anything else. Mm-hmm. I don't think. And so, yeah. Ooh, hey, Tincture. Za. Za is good. Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess I should say za, because it's not za. We say za pizza. That was The Office where Nard Dog came up with that short name. Oh my gosh, yes. So Logan's asking a question in case you're missing it. I don't have any sources, but does anyone else know of good sources on the origins and diachrony of whistle registers? And if you do, let us know. Remember that you can't pop links into chat. At least it has not been successful in the past. And so make sure you mention name and title so that way Logan can find them. All right. Yeah, that seems to make sense. Okay. Woo! Do you want me to write them all in? Well, I feel like because voiceless stops voiced, voice stops become nasal. Well, I feel like that covers it, but I guess if you want to be super explicit, my word, this is in your time of need. This is happening, and I don't know if the microphone is picking up on it. Probably not. So probably you're introducing them to something brand new. I guess I should ask, is the microphone picking up on any weird noises? Oh my gosh. Wait, there's a pan fry and steam method for pizza. Nice. For reheating it, but I really do like it cold. Yeah, and so we no longer need this fortition rule. Which fortition? Oh, down at the bottom. Yeah. We did that, I thought, because it was going to end up happening at the beginning because of the mois. Yes, it was. But so where was that happening? It happens right here. It happens after this. No, wait. Sorry. After that. Yeah. So, all right. I guess we better keep that in there. Just in case. And really, you know what? I think that is dogmification. Thank you, Magpie. It's good to know. Okay. So then now we come to the point where we decide if we're happy with any of this and any of it needs to change. But celebrate first. That's right. Oh my goodness. What do you think Mayora is? Look. Mayora. The company that does the jars. Maybe you didn't put on the light. No. And as a side note, Magpie, one of the reasons we had pizza last night was because last week I had friends visiting and I made gluten-free pizzas because my friend is gluten-free. And so we had leftovers of some of the toppings that just didn't get used. And so I made pizza last night to use up all the extra toppings. But yeah, we had gluten-free pizza last week. Was the dough you made last night gluten-free? No. What are you going to do with all those extra? Well, I have a lot of extra flours, yeah. I need to put them in the special storage containers, and I can definitely use them. But I don't know how the microphone. So I'm just gonna tell you, my stomach when I'm hungry is like a little growly monster inside me, and David calls my stomach Little Jessie because seriously, it's so loud. I'm like, how do you not notice?
It's so cute.
But it's like it sounds like a little bear. And like,
it howled the other day. That was great.
Yeah, it really did howl the other day. There was like a going on.
It was the cutest thing I ever heard.
But it's like my stomach is just like, hey, yo, give me my Copyco.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. Oh my goodness. Got a whole host of animals living inside my tummy.
Copyco. Where is that?
Satisfy the inner animal cravings.
I was thinking, what was that Snickers one, you know? Like, you're not you when you're hungry. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, Jake made kimchi bokkeumbap. Did I say that right?
By the way, I feel like I got to rip off this Band-Aid. I don't like kimchi.
None of us are surprised to follow along with your tastes.
Yeah.
I like it.
The big thing I don't like, I don't like pickling, onions, vinegar, any of that. I just don't like it. Do like lots of sugar though.
I don't like that.
I'm big into sugar.
Yeah, David's wrong about food. That's right. S&Z won't follow nasals because they're new sounds that end up getting introduced up here, and they have to be in between vowels, which means it's not with a nasal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sujet. All right, so question is, are we happy with this or do we want to change some stuff? So also I want to throw a poll out here just in case we need it. Just in case we need it. What to do with uvulars. And so I'm going to give you a couple options here. And then or
are you talking about romanization potentially?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to remind everybody, as Jake has commented about Cadbury's Easter stuff, roughly 3 years ago, I think it was an outtake, because I think it was while we were doing some testing methods, and so I think it's one of the early LangTime outtakes. It was around Easter time after we had started the stream, so it had been in 2020, and David had just eaten an entire chocolate bunny. The entire, and like one of the big ones.
It was Dove dark chocolate. It was this big. It was so good.
And he ate the whole thing. And I think in one sitting, like, I don't think you had spread it out. I think you like just sat down and ate the whole thing.
I did.
And so, yeah, when there's Easter candy, it will happen.
Yeah, look at them all making the wrong choice. That's cool. They're so happy about it too.
And then why did you put it as a choice?
I was just curious. I wanted to see how I felt, and now I know. But
now you know how you felt.
That's
okay.
all right. So,
I hate Peep Smiles. They are disgusting, and I do not understand why. Not only why anyone likes them, but why people like them enough that they're actually making things like Peeps flavored cereal. Why?
Or Pepsi.
Why? Oh my God, that's so gross. No, I don't like Peeps, and I will through and through be like, no, they need to go away and never come back.
By the way, did I ever tell anybody, because especially the British folks will know Marks and Spencer, that I had a hairdresser from Manchester, and I asked him, was there anything he missed about England? He says, well, there's one thing. I got these plain white socks from Marks and Spencer, and they're the best socks that I've ever had. And so, like, when I would go find myself in London, I'd go to Marks and Spencer and buy him socks and bring them back.
It's awesome. One thing, so one reason for going with the QGH or one of those orderings is because in general in our romanization method, when we add an H after a consonant, it turns whatever consonant is before it into a variant of it, right? So like a TH becomes a th in roughly the same position in your mouth. Even though the IPA is written with an upside down R, it's not produced in the same place as the R is in our language. And so we wouldn't want to just do RH because that would potentially suggest a fricative or voiceless variant of an alveolar because we have the, yeah, it's the R sound. So it would suggest something further forward in the mouth. Having the H after the GQ combo in whatever order it is says, hey, this is a fricative produced at the same location as the GQ, which is that. And so that's one reason to do it.
Pushing further and further, they love that. They're essentially like G should be a voicer, not Q should be a uvularizer, which is weird to me. But anyway, what was I going to say about M&S? Oh, by the way,
Magpie has tried Peepsy. Peepsy. I don't know if they call it that, but that's adorable.
Yeah.
Disgusting flavor, but adorable name.
If you're ever in Plymouth, England, I signed a copy of The Art of Language Invention at the M&S over there. So
David's ending the poll.
You can go and grab it. How do you feel, Jess?
Well, you know my opinion on trigraphs, so anytime it requires 3, I'm automatically not going to like any of the above, so.
Well. Yeah.
I feel like the QG ordering of the first one makes more sense, so if we're going to do it, then I guess QGH.
All right. Oh, RH doesn't make any sense for anything. Or unless it's a voiceless R. All right. Okay, so, Jesse, what do you want to kill? We've got this rule, Rule 17, velarization. All these uvulars are becoming velars before a V. Could make that more general.
Wait, what?
All the uvulars become velars before V. In other words, kva becomes kva.
Okay.
Now, just saying, we can make that rule more general.
How so?
Just get rid of the before V.
Oh my god, are you talking about killing all the uvulars?
Yeah, we could do it after, so we could swap Rule 17 and Rule 18, so we still get our uvular coloring. Then we could just say, you know what? Uvulars were a mistake. Let's just kill them.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this because you don't like the poll results?
I mean, you didn't like either option, is the thing.
Well, no, because you know I don't like trigraphs.
Yeah.
Essentially, my brain stops paying attention to the unit, I think. And there's 3 I got to pay attention to. And it's like, that's a lot of work.
That's right. When you see the STR in strength, you're like, not doing it. Strength.
First of all, that's not a trigraph. Each one represents a sound. A trigraph is like the sh of SCH of German, which is unfortunate that it takes all SCH to do the sh sound.
You just pronounce it ska.
And it's no longer a trigraph at that point. At most, you could say it's a digraph for the CH making a k, which is what's happening. But the S is still an S, so, you know, there you have it. I don't know. Like, that would reduce our number of sounds. So one thing that I am, like, Hey, we've got a lot of cool things going on, but now we have introduced a lot of sounds. And as much as we can lean into a variety of consonant sounds, it just feels a little bit overwhelming to have that full variety of sounds in the phonemic inventory. It wouldn't be at the proto-form, but they would potentially be contrastive in the modern form, which is, again, a lot of sounds. Not that languages can't do it, because natural languages do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was the vision that I had had for the dog language when we started. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my gosh. Okay, side note. Magpie. Bandits have not, in fact, absconded with my clothes. I think Magpie is the neighbor of that cat picture I showed you, where a cat had been stealing their neighbor's clothes from like an outdoor line situation where they had been hung out to dry. And the cat had been stealing all these clothes from the neighbors, and like the cat owners didn't realize it because the cat was hiding them away in their house. And then suddenly they found all these clothes that weren't theirs.
Because they were moving.
And because they were moving, and they were like, oh my gosh, where did these come from? And it was because their cat had been stealing clothes. And so now in my head, it doesn't matter if it's true or not, Magpie, you are the neighbor. Gramacing, what about killing the uvular fricatives but leaving the stops?
Wouldn't do it for me.
But it doesn't make sense if we were doing that velarization and expanding it, because that specifically refers to both stops and fricatives. Well, we would have to expand it anyway, because now don't we end up having a capital G, so that would become a G there anyway. Goodness, David, how do you feel about that?
You know that I'm always up for mischief.
Well, let's do it then. These dogs are ready to get mischified. And like, I was so ready to have all these uvular series in one of our languages and actually have them meaningful. But our consonant inventory has just gotten exploded, and I'm ready to reduce it.
I feel like Roger Chillingsworth. All
that means nothing to me.
Sounds. Quiet, Hester Prynne.
Oh, I forgot that was his name.
Oh, come on. His name is actually Chillingsworth or Chillingworth. It's like ridiculous.
Ridiculous or not, I haven't read the book since '99.
I haven't read it since '97.
Yes, but you remember what you read. You know, we have had this discussion that I don't remember all those details.
How do you remember we had the discussion if you don't remember
because
details?
Because I remember things we talk about that you don't remember. But you remember the things you read. I know, Vololo, the uvulars were doggy, which is why I wanted the whole series in the first place. It's just now our system has expanded to degrees that I'm not entirely sure we can handle. Don't blame it on Biblaridian.
It's both of their faults.
Fixing cheered one. Woohoo! Like, I'd be willing to take the blame. We did it specifically because Jesse said no to the trigraph. I understand that, Matisse. It can be really difficult to keep that vibe going, especially when, like the other day I was talking to David about how there's like one decision I have to make in Joadi, and like making it is just shutting down my overall system to the point where now every time I open the document, what I do is housekeeping stuff. Because I'm like, I have to make this decision and it feels too big, even though it's small. So Magpie was apparently not the neighbor in that story, but you will forever be the neighbor in the story in my head.
Now we go up here and we add some, what color was it? I'm going to open Sarkage.
It was like an orange color. Kind of a brown orange color.
I see it.
See, Bib is like lies and slander. Man, calling you out, David. I actually, so in documenting my own languages, I actually end up keeping the proto and modern consonant charts as vowel charts, sound charts as completely different charts. So that way, when I'm making protoforms, I just look at what's available to me proto, and then to describe the modern form, I just have all the modern forms.
Yeah, you're very fancy.
I could teach you. I could change your ways. We can change this document setup a little bit.
I encourage it.
You encourage it?
I encourage it. You all heard me.
I don't know that everyone realizes how huge this is. David encourages? Oh my god, I'm going to share with you my template and see what you think of it.
I thought that you are already going to change it.
Not the layout stuff. Like, you have been pretty set on how information is presented in the documents because you're like, this is how I've done it, and this is how, 87 languages are already documented.
No, you can always change things.
All right, so Graham is confirming hook becomes look.
Yeah.
That sounds right. I believe.
Yeah.
Carl says you always encourage him. That's so sweet.
I try to be super nice all the time. Did we ever have by the way, you should show the chart, see what's happening.
Oh.
Did we ever have an instance of just a uvular nasal fold by wa?
A uvular nasal followed by wa?
Yeah.
No, because the uvular nasal could only be there if there was a uvular consonant after it. Which means it wouldn't be followed by wa.
And how did we get this? Oh, because this.
Because of, the...
Somehow I think we get that. All right. And so now the next question is...
Wait, I actually think this one came about because this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if that's what you were pointing to. My word.
Oh, we have some other things to add. Of course, S and C. And also that. Right?
Wait, but also what? So S and Z, yes. Yes, we have the voice. But then we have all the stuff doesn't change, right? Like the pharyngeal and...
Intervocalic lenition, yeah. So we have ja, and then we also have, oh boy, and we have
get the pharyngeal, yeah. Gosh, I'm going to hate to do this, but at some point we may need to kill some secondary articulations.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting too many. Oh my gosh. Hey, Joan. Joan and Julian are here, who we met as the Brune linguists at the UCLA. And they were at dinner with us. And so they're here watching us for the first time. Hello!
I kind of feel like somebody just opened the door while I'm in the bathroom.
That doesn't make sense to me. I'm excited to see you here. David is apparently a bit petrified. I don't know. Um, okay, and then anime fan S's and Z's. I'm gonna double check, but I think they do the same thing as all the others, which S's would become Z's, Z's would become stops.
What are we talking about?
What happens with S and Z after a nasal?
It'll never occur.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen because the S and Z will only appear intervocalically.
Yeah, you actually totally said that before.
I did, and now I'm just now remembering that that is the case. We moved away from sound changes in the document, therefore my brain has stopped processing the information that was listed there.
Okay.
I think
that's everything.
David.
Yo.
Not to introduce a fourth color to our beautiful chart, but one thing I would be curious to distinguish between in our modern forms are which ones are actually phonemic and which ones are like, you know what, these only show up in variation. And so it almost makes them like less of a worry for me that we have them. So for instance, that S and Z being like, you know what, that's just a T intervocalically and that's just how it shows up. And so it's not like something, like you're never going to get oto separate from oso. It's just like, that's just how it shows up.
It's going too far.
I know, but like it would help my brain to be able to see like what's actually making meaning difference. Instead of having to remember, but it's okay. It's okay.
For things that are actual phonemes, I will allow you to increase the font size of those characters to 13.
Thank you, David.
All right.
In case you're not noticing, the current font size is 12. David is allowing me a lot of wiggle room here.
Yeah. All right. I think that we're ready to delete all that stuff about nasals. And it's just a matter of if we want to do anything else. So you were saying that we might have to do something about
the secondary articulations. Because they're a little out of hand, even with, I mean, considering all the red, it's like, look at all the variations where it's like, this is a lot of sounds.
Yeah, but they're just going to be like, they're just going to be like, what do you call it? They're just going to be little apostrophes, you know? And it's just going to be a change from like I don't know, Dom to Assam. I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
Okay.
I think it's going to be all right.
I'm going to create my own document where I'm going to go through and like mark the allophonic variation that I don't have to worry about.
I also want to point something out. So do you see how in this table, the top row and the third row are extra large?
Yeah,
I just was moving around in the document and I changed them. So on my version of the document, they are now all the same size, but yours aren't. Do the differential column. Okay, now move out of it. Just move out of it entirely. Okay, see, like it changed on mine, but it didn't change on yours. That's so weird.
There we go. Now they're all where they need to be. But we've had this issue before, if you recall, where something that we had printed big was on one page in my document and on a different page in yours, because it was like at the bottom of your page, but at the top of mine.
Yeah, Miami Nights font. It's weird.
Even though we have the same version of pages and we have all the same fonts and we have all of that, like it just wasn't working.
Yeah. All right. So I'm glad we did some pruning. We did some housekeeping. I'm happy. Right. That's right. Dogwa is going to become Doho.
Okay. That's the only thing that has to change, though, right?
No, bark is now going to be Hop. Just with a Ra.
Because we got rid of those.
Oof.
That's good. Yeah. And then we still have pharyngeal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I haven't done either of those in a drawing, so I haven't been wrong yet.
Nah. Do you have another like noun or something you want? You do sleep.
A noun or a verb, something I can do.
But what happened to lie down in a, you know?
Oh, we had that vote.
Where are those?
But we didn't actually create words because this was where we were. We need to keep working on this because.
All right. Let's
okay, wait.
do it.
So we had options.
And I think that we
had a vote, but did we decide all three?
I didn't think so. I thought we just
we decided two.
Belly lie and then the other one.
Like side lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, we have belly lie for sure. But yeah, I thought we voted on having two-way distinction.
We did. So then, yeah, we can get rid of one of those.
It'd be great if we had remembered. So I'm going to get rid of curl lie.
I mean, yeah.
I think that was the one, because that's technically you would still be on your belly.
Yeah, no, it'll still be on your side. Basically, here, delete that. It's going to be, it's essentially going to be ready lie versus sleepy lie.
And I'm going to strike through that because we now have montations.
Mm-hmm.
We have montations.
That's what happens with a nasal mutation for mutation. It becomes montation.
Our knight is saying the winner was to distinguish all three.
Well then.
Interesting. Can anyone else verify that? Because I really... So,
we haven't got to colors
yeah, we
yet.
don't.
We'll get there.
That takes a while.
Yeah, and Logan figures that out for us.
And we rely on, well, between Logan and Bibleridian. But yeah,
That's
Logan
right.
is the one who creates the spectrums for us.
Yes.
And helps us decide what colors their eyes can actually see, which is why our rabbit language has 3 color words. Was it 3? Because I remember they could see green and like
4.
gray. Oh, there's blue and yellow. It was
Yeah.
blue, yellow, like a green and a gray or black.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, it depends on what colors their eyes can see. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Julian is backing up. Or is it Julian? If I said your name wrong, I apologize. That our knight is correct. Okay, so right, 3-way. Right. We're good. We're good.
3-way. So yeah, you want to just how do you want to draw a dog? Lying on its belly with its little feet out, lying on its side.
Listen, that could be
like it's eaten too much.
We can have a 3-way drawing, and that would get me going for a week and a half because I would have three different ways of lying down.
Okay.
One for each drawing.
Here we go. Belly.
And thank you everyone for reminding us of what the vote was.
Lie. Okay, dog is lying down and it is roughly alert. You might want to scroll up a little bit.
We will. One thing I do want to make sure we haven't assigned forms to chase, belly lie, or heel, correct?
No.
Okay. As a reminder, when we do belly lie,
We're doing it now.
It needs to be one of these 3 mutations because that was the whole thing, right?
Which one? So belly lie is going to be essive.
And it doesn't matter phonetically which one it lines up with, right?
No.
So we just need to make sure, though, a mutation comes into play. So we need to have it ending.
I have a recommendation.
Okay, I would love to hear your recommendation.
Essive should be nasal. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because when it's essive, it's, you're more stationary, and the nasal mutation is a bit, sedentary. It makes things more solid.
I like it.
All right. But that also means that belly lie is probably just going to be or m or om.
Oh, wait. I wasn't in the right place. Now we have prepositions.
Oh, prepositions.
I thought my cursor was up here, and I was like, we got to have something here. We need to at least have a vowel.
What do you think, om? or could be, it could be m, or Thank you, Arnai Petrichor.
Wow. Wow, you're good. Thank you.
This is going to be prepositional source.
Yes. And it's going to be the essive. I like all the back variations. All feel good to me. How about you?
There. Let's go ahead.
Do a poll. Okay, so Tethys, I get your point, but one thing we want to remember is that we had talked about there being like knowledge from past days. And so that could be something carried over, but also like the way that dogs even follow each other. It's not just humans they do it with. And it's like when you see dogs where one is kind of the leader in the moment, the other one will kind of follow as they do. And so it's like the same situation, but like, yeah. Or like when puppies, they heel as they follow their mom around.
I can't do it as high as I used to be able to. I can feel in my throat that I can't do it.
Okay, but we also don't need to break the microphone, so so we're good. Okay, looks like
mutations of prepositions.
Exactly.
I mean, it's jumped out to a huge lead. There's still outstanding votes, but I mean, it's
not going to make a difference.
Yeah, it's a pretty darn commanding lead.
So I'm going to go ahead and make this.
There you go.
And I'm going to.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, we just have 1, 2, and 3. Should I cross off 2 because that's?
Let's press the end stream button.
Oh my gosh! Please don't! Please don't! Not yet. We have 22 minutes. I'm just going to cross off the 1 because we've decided 1. All right, and that's going to be belly lie or alert lie.
All right. So then, what are the other 2?
Well, we need. Oh, for these, yes.
More important. So,
that would be more important than getting my pictures here.
Chase should be intervocalic.
I can have that. All right, so let's make that a thing.
Chase should be intervocalic.
So make it. That just means it needs to be vowel and then a consonant that participates in the intervocalic. Yeah. So either a stop or a fricative.
No, it's going to be CB.
As a preposition.
Yes.
Because we want the C, if it starts with a C, and by C I mean consonant, we want, if it starts with a consonant, to do something to that consonant. Got it.
Yeah.
So we need CV for chase, and that means heel needs to be something palatal.
Yes. Actually, do we have any consonants that disappear intervocalically anymore? I forget with the one that won. No, we don't. None of them actually disappear.
They either don't change, or we get the They either don't change or they do, David. The most helpful piece of information.
Yeah. It could be heavy in that it is it's a vowel sequence, just not one that involves a front vowel. And so then we have the option of having the full form of chase be, CBV, and then the preposition could just be CB.
So like, but nothing front?
No, it can't be anything front.
Ooh.
Or is good. In fact, because it'd be hua. It could be hua, or it could just be ua. And then we could have a preposition that is either u or wa, depending on
fun.
whether.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
And what do you feel about like ua versus hua?
I like that one.
All right, you got it.
Oh my gosh, hau is to howl, hua is to chase.
Yeah.
But again, that the H may disappear in the prepositional form, or we?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let me just make sure I've got this correct. Ua becomes ua. Yeah.
Ua. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Perfect. Okay. So now we've got chase, and then chase.
We want something that ends with an e.
And this one was going to be.
In fact, it has to be either a e or o e. A e becomes I. O e becomes oi. It has to be one of those two.
Well, I sounds like a good way to end.
Could just be that. Like it could be quite simple.
Okay.
Oh, and here since we're doing IPA, let me just gonna go IPA all this.
And that's okay to keep it nice and short like that.
Yeah.
Because it's prepositional source, we'll just match it, or we'll end up kind of becoming a shortened.
Either it'll match it or it'll just shorten to ah.
Okay. But if it shortens to ah, it would still have the palatal?
It would, and so it would just be a purely historical thing. You just know that
okay. Oh, Brian stepped out for dinner and came back to no Uvulars. Sorry. I'm sending a hug your way. There was a thing.
There
was a thing.
Then furthermore,
David
you shall wear a red Q on your tunic, Hester Prynne.
That happened. Okay, so now we have that done.
Yeah.
Before we go on, because I would love to have, like some of these forms as well.
Go for it.
But before we do that...
before we do that, okay.
Yeah, before we do that, I would love to talk about, do we have ideas for what patrons are voting on? Because that's more important at this point. Scarlet. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, I love it. And Jake's getting the Isabel. This is great stuff. Okay. But patron, because we're not at an obvious spot right now.
No idea.
Cool.
Sorry.
What are you laughing at?
I don't know. I'm just...
David, okay. What are you doing over here?
So it's like we want to come up with these two words for side lie and curl lie. And then we have... we come up with the actual forms, the prepositions. And by the way, they could just be, O with the M showing up, when it's in front of a vowel. Could be, U and W, and then it can just be ah, And so that...
With the lenition happening on the following consonant, kind of like taking over the presence of, say, the M as a coda consonant, where it's like, O, pe becomes obey.
Yeah, we could actually, might be interesting to spell this out. I mean, this could theoretically be the poll, what the forms of these things are going to be. It just might be hard because we'd be dealing with 3 different ones.
Yeah.
So it might be difficult to ferret out.
Jake is suggesting we vote on which series we lose next.
I mean, labials, of course.
Gosh.
But one possibility that I was just thinking of is that with the I, it could be ah, and then like a ya could actually be introduced before certain vowels. Um, it feels like there is enough meat in these bones to do a poll based on those prepositions. It'll just be that voting will be complicated.
That's your problem now.
I suppose you're right.
All right. Except when it isn't. When I still end up being like, hey, did you tabulate the results?
I just set the train in motion. I don't bother with if the tracks keep going.
It's like through the fold of Shadow and Bone. Okay. Small plug. Watch Shadow and Bone, season 2.
Yeah.
Again and again for the next 28 days.
Yeah.
Just leave it on auto loop.
After that, it's okay. You can literally not watch it at all after that. But first 28 days.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. So I actually think we could come up with like a set of options that would align with each other-ish, where they're actually voting on like a set, where it's like this is going to happen across the board, or like this will happen to this preposition, but these other two like don't really participate. So I actually don't think it's going to be that complicated. So okay, we have an idea. Patrons, this week you'll be voting on the actual prepositional forms for hua, and ai.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we can come up with side lie and curl lie.
All right. Okay, so the dog is sacked out, eating a big dinner, lying on his side, being like, whoa, what did I do? Why did I do that again? And then, of course, the second you say food, he's like, hmm?
Okay. So I'm going to change this to side /
stuffed lie.
Overfull.
Yeah.
Stuffed. Wanna close.
And that's overfull, not overfull.
Eyes.
Overfull being,
Lie.
full of over. I fixed it. The premiere was very, very good. We had a lot of fun at the post-production dinner the previous day, which was like a wrap dinner, even though it was outdoors in the dead of winter. But we had a good time, actually. A lot of the cast ended up sitting at our table that Jesse and I were at. The table that we occupied by ourselves because we didn't know anybody else and nobody wanted to sit next to us.
And then suddenly we were sitting next to the entire main cast.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was cool.
That was really cool. And so, yeah. And also I met my new best friend, although they may not realize they're my new best friend. Okay. Now.
Oh yeah, so I don't know what kind of forms are we feeling? Throw stuff out. We're doing side lie, overly full stuff lie, overfull. What an overfull response.
Ugh. Ugh. Oh.
No, is when they're lying on their belly with their little paws out.
I feel very schwa-y for this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's and I feel very pharyngeal on the ending.
Ooh.
All
right.
And so something like or where it's like I don't even want to move my tongue very much.
How about? Oh wait, we need to throw a little something on there. There we go.
So belly lie is when dogs just lie down on their bellies, but they're still like, their legs are lying down, but like they're still head up. They're, checking things out. They're like, I'm just taking a sit.
You greet Kiet? You greet her? Like the
Oh,
greeter?
hello. Just Bailey lie. Okay, so I like that for side lie.
We got that. All right, now for curl lie there. This little pup
sorry, Miles.
is all curled up. The pup is all curled up and having a good little happy sleep. Their little tail curled in and their little nose curled in.
Can't type two hyphens. You got to make sure that hyphen gets away from the other one, otherwise it gets a dash.
Yep.
So this kind of lying down is like, I am tired, I'm asleep. It's going to take a lot more than you just saying food in my presence to get me to wake up. I'm enjoying.
You reference me it? You reference her like the old television show? Oh, jail for mother.
I have no idea what's happening right here, but thinking a curl lie.
Oh, you know
this
about
is
me
where
yet.
I would get the ma
You've been
in the
introduced.
moi.
You've been introduced to Miette. You know about Miette. You may have forgotten Miette, but Miette did not forget about you.
It was something a, because it's, I don't know, like or even or a. Exactly. You can make it all nice and calm. Or
Oh my God, that is a legit possible word. Tret.
Oh my goodness. That is one heavy form. Moi. Hey, Og.
Hey, I'm glad you just recognized you're alive. You know what that means. Now that you know that you're alive, you can do anything you want with your life right now. Use that power.
Moya. Ooh, what does Moya become?
What?
M-W-A-A. Moya.
M-W-A.
Moi. Moi, like the labialized.
M-W-A. Oh, Moya.
Yes, which is totally what I was saying to you.
You said Moya.
So Moya.
That's even worse. Moya.
You know what?
Hold on.
Other way, this segment is now going to be called something quite different.
Map.
Oh my gosh. That's actually really funny. Wallow. Okay, but like what would happen? Now that you understand what I'm saying, even though the aya did not like help you.
It just becomes.
Let me make my eyes.
I'm pretty
so
sure.
Nothing. Oh, just the
Yeah, just the becomes an Moya. That's pretty good. How about we put those to a vote? Wallow and Moya.
Okay, you got the votes.
Okay. Okay, we have.
And schwa.
And oh, we're rolling with the schwas. Rolling. We got rid of the uvulars, but we're keeping the schwas.
The schwammies.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, will you finish the poll?
Come
on.
I'm looking for. I was looking for the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just yelling at David. Come on! Come on! All right. This is going to wallow. I'm trying not to do the L because it's not wallow. Wallow.
By the way, it's kind of funny. So Graham says, "Yay! For once, we have central vowels." Most of the time, the A we do is central. Most of the time it's central. Here it's decidedly not. It's the one language where we really have Well, this in Sarkije.
The one language. Oh yeah, but the one we just did also.
For all the other three, they're not back. Oh shoot! Maybe for the rabbits. because they also have a, don't they?
Yeah, they have a and ah.
But is it a and ah, or is it a and ah?
Have to open it up to find out.
And remember, oh, by the way, I have a treat for you. So this is going to be a little project of mine.
Uh-huh.
But
okay, you should end it.
I asked Barry and Carl to take another shot at the Ingala orthography.
And OMG.
Yeah. So first, Carl gave me his, which was great. Barry gave me his, which was outstanding. And so basically, I'm going to use those and create a new version of the Ingala font that's actually going to look good. And yeah, I thought it was add to, not all.
There we go. Yeah, I think you're right, Mateus. I honestly
I'm taking a look right now.
don't remember. I am super stoked, though.
It is. It's central. So it's an ah.
I am very, very excited about where the orthography will be after David hits it with the revisions.
Yeah.
After seeing what Carl and Barry came up with, it's really good. I don't know. I need to know what kind.
What that white rice in the bowl?
Oh, we'll have to look. I think so, but I don't know. Something that can be checked in 3 minutes instead of you texting at the end of our stream. Yeah, you're right, Jake. It really does. Oh, Silvertail. I'd have to black out the screen to open it up right now, but you're on Discord. We'll take a picture of the current font and post it in Discord and Ingala, so that way everybody can remember what the current font looks like.
If you're on Discord, you can just go hunt through all the posts on Patreon. Just go to Season 1 tag and...
You could do that, but I could also like easily take a screenshot and just pop it in to be like, just as a reminder, this is what it looks like. And then that way you can be reminded. Also, so everyone can be reminded.
Mm-hmm.
So that way the next time we have the font, they can see like how much better it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better.
I am very excited about that. I think that was actually one of the first times that we had learned early on that we should not ask questions about writing system before we're done with all of our sound changes, because we popped that option for the patrons a little bit too early in Ingala and ended up with a writing system that didn't quite match necessarily the overall structure.
Yeah.
And so it became a very interesting conundrum. Jake, yes. Okay, so Magpie, no, it won't change how the actual script works. It's just going to look nicer.
Yep.
And Jake, yes, this Saturday, the 18th at 1 p.m. Pacific, we have now needed to shift what time we start those patron live streams for other reasons.
There's that, and then there's also next week.
Next week, what are we doing next week? Or have we decided how we're gonna?
So here's the thing. Next week, we're going to be at the University of North Texas. They're 2 hours ahead, so our stream should begin at 4 p.m. and go to 6 p.m. We have a talk at 6 p.m., and they're going to open the room at 5:30 p.m. So I think that what we are going to do, assuming that the hotel Wi-Fi cooperates, is we're just going to have a kind of a little stream, and we're going to stream for as long as we can. It won't be like a super long episode, but we'll be there. That's the plan. And Silvertail, you're near there. I mean, it's open to the public.
Thursday night we'll have a public lecture at 6.
Yeah, we're primarily just going to be opening up. We're just going to show old episodes of LangTime Studio, and I think primarily make fun of what people say in chat. Yeah, we're not even going to face the audience. We're going to be facing the screen. I'm like, look at that.
Anyway.
Look at what he said.
Anyway. yeah, so if you're able to come, that would be awesome, Silvertail. We'd love to actually meet you. Okay, so Kyle, enjoy your dinner.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
I'll get the stream set up because I haven't got them scheduled
Yes,
yet.
yes, it'll get all scheduled now that we know exactly when it's going to be, and yeah, we will attempt to stream next week, but it'll be short no matter what because we have a presentation to get to at 6, which is the end of our stream time.
Yeah.
So, okay, all that to say, hope you have a great week. Did you want to hit end stream or do you want me?
Oh, I'll be happy to do that little thing for you. Well, goodness, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you were able to ask this of me and that I can help you out in this way. Gosh, what a golly nice thing that is.
He is nice? so doggone gentlemanly. Exactly. So thank you for being here. Stay grammar, and until next time.
Bye, everybody.
Good button pushing.
Thank you.